as you say, it's the momentum, it's the trend that seems to be moving in the wrong direction. And part of that trend, as we start to see lack of faith in America, in the American dream, in American military might, is this trend of de-dollarization, which I'm assuming you have first-hand experience with. I mean, we know countries like the BRICS are opting to trade in their own currencies, moving away from the dollar. Countries are holding less dollar-backed reserve assets. According to the latest IMF data, the U.S. dollar accounted for 59% of global allocated foreign reserves in the third quarter of 2023. That's quite a significant drop from several years ago. So what are your thoughts on the dollar being dethroned as king of reserve currencies, having this global perspective that you do?
Well, I think one of your guests said it will happen in his lifetime. He's a little bit older than I am. I think the throne sounds very violent. I think things happen in the margins. And every year you see a percent here, a percent there. I think it was in the low to mid-70s at the turn of the century. So now you're down to 59. I think at one point it was even a little bit lower than that. That's what happens in the margins. I mean, marginal changes drive big results. And what does that lead to? The U.S. uses that dollar reserve position to do a lot of things. Number one, to go to bully countries to impose sanctions. You saw in the Russia-Ukraine war, they wanted to look at secondary sanctions. You buy Russian oil.
Call all Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And as you can see, everybody's talking about, about the dollar losing its value because it's on its way out of here, man. All right, the dollar hegemony. Let's go into that word real quick. In fact, let's go into that word, hegemony. All right, it's losing its power, man. Right, because it's all designed by Yahweh B'Shem Shai. Leadership or dominance, especially by one country or social group over others. All right, and that would be the whore. Babylon the Great, America, has power. He has dominance over other countries in the world. And it's losing its dominance, his value, because this is the beginning of the fall of an empire, man. The hegemony of the dollar. Just listen, as you can hear him, he said they go around bullying and sanction. Well, that goes back into the scriptures, They have that power, and they abuse that power. The Lord gave them the power, the sword, and they abused that power. All right, let's go to Revelation 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And that's his power, his sword. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And this was the revised Roman Empire coming back, Babylon the Great, America. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, all right, the Roman Empire, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that, this is the point, that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And that's what Esau has been doing. He's been going around bullying, the world with its dominance, hegemony, the dollar, But the Lord is stripping that power away from him. And now the nations can see this. So we're seeing the fall of an empire, the fall of a dollar, man. That's why we're going to have more stagflation. Stagflation. Let's look that up. We're going to have more stagflation, which we already inflation. But stagflation is what you're seeing right now. All right? And it's actually when prices are going up, man, and nothing is going down. All right? See, you got up and down. Here we go. This is a good one. Economic growth going down. Green, inflation, prices, unemployment. See? Stagflation. All right? Let's go to, in simple terms. The term stagflation, because we hear often about inflation. right? Combines two familiar words. Stagnant. You know, when you stagnant, you can't move. It's either not going, you really, it's not going, like, it's in one level. And inflation, stagflation, refers to an economy characterized by high inflation, low economic growth, and high unemployment. And that's what you see in Babylon the Great, man. All right? That's what you see in Babylon the Great. High unemployment. You know, just recently, every day there's companies closing, department stores, big company stores, organizations closing stores in different states around Babylon the Great. The unemployment rate is high, all right? Inflation, prices of eggs and food. What you're watching is stagflation and inflation. It's a disease and it's killing Babylon the Great, man. And all they do is print money, which printing money is just making it worse.
Oil, if you do whatever else, you're going to get sanctioned. They realized it would backfire. Well, that had backfired 25 years ago. So I see that the kind of countries we're talking about. Now, I'm not saying that we're talking about Russia or China or some of these, countries that are in the oil business, but the kind of up-and-coming economies that I look at, that I invest in some cases that I have the ability to live in, I think they're emboldened. And they realize that the U.S. government has used this strong dollar to sanction almost 4 times as many countries and people as the turn of the century. I don't think there's 4 times as many bad guys. I think a country got drunk on power, got used to no competition. You think they're going to treat you, the citizen, any better than they treat everybody else around the world? They use the dollar as a weapon. And so what I think happens...
They use the dollar as a weapon because that was given to him. He was blessed with the sword. And he used that power, to pillage, destroy, colonize, other parts of the world, the people. And they bully their way around with the sword and use their dollar to bully as a weapon, as a weapon. Now, Micah tells you about that. Let's go to Micah. Let's go to the book of Micah. I'm just coming with scriptures from the Spirit. Let's go Micah 2. Woe to those who oppress the poor. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. See? It's in the power of their hand. And that's why they're able to do that. But the Lord is going to slowly dismantling the whore, Babylon the Great, the infrastructure, the economy. And it starts with the economy because the economy is the driven force of an empire. Any country in the world, the economy, it's what keeps the country flowing. It's the heart, all right? In other words, it's the heart of an empire. Once the economy is devalued, destroyed, the empire falls. So we're watching the revised Roman Empire falling right in front of our eyes, and everybody's talking about it. The hegemony of the dollar, it's over. It's the Lord stripping away that dominance. Let's listen a little bit more.
Of de-dollarization is the less dollar hegemony they have, the more they're going to be backed into a corner, the more they're going to have to come out and look to raise taxes, look to bring in money on things like crypto with tax.
See? So they're backed up. The hegemony, the dollar is losing its dominance. And what's going to happen? They're going to raise taxes. They're going to raise interest rates. They're going to raise prices on food. That's where we're heading. That's why the prophecies are always on point. Scripture speaks about, the storehouses shall be empty. People shall fight with one another as enemies because of the lack of bread. We're already going into the riots and the uproars of the people protesting. They're already setting up shop and, signing these unrighteous decrees to come against the men of the Lord because we're speaking the prophecies. They want to illegalize speaking about the scriptures, the Bible. So all of this is all coming together, but it starts with the dollar. See, the whore is losing its power, man. You know? Let's listen a little bit more, and then I'm gonna end it.
Taxes there, and or people who aren't paying their taxes on crypto, they have to go after those people. They're going to go out and probably start some more conflicts. They're going to probably start more trade wars. They're going to increasingly get debt. They're the tiger backed into the corner. That's what I see de-dollarization. I think it's going to gradually happen over time. I think we talked about how maybe it gets down to somewhere in the 30s in the next 2 decades or so. That's kind of like the has-been business you went to back in the 80s or 90s, and they still exist, but it's like no one ever thinks about them. Whatever that business is where you are, you're kind of getting into that territory, and it's easy to sit in the United States and say, hey, this seems like the center of the world to us. Go to Asia, go to Singapore, ask the bankers in Singapore, as I did, where would you rather the money come from? They say, we have plenty of Indonesian clients, we have plenty of Indian clients, we have plenty of people from here in Singapore, we have plenty of Thai and Vietnamese. We don't want American money. We don't need it. We're conservative. We're some of the strongest banks in the world. The U.S.
Yeah, the nations, you got the G7. No one, look, the jig is up. The jig is up, Babylon. And all these other nations and countries, they don't want to deal with you no more. They don't want to deal with the dollar. That's why every damn month, you got a country want to sign up with the G7. Salaka, they want to sign up with the BRICS because nobody wants to deal with the dollar. No one. And this is beautiful, man. The Lord is doing this. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is doing this, man. All right? I think in South Africa, they already de-dollarized. They're not even using the dollar. Iran, you could get put to death if you use the dollar in Iran. And like I said, every month there's a new country, 1, 2, 3, 4 different countries signing up for the BRICS. All right? Last week, 2 weeks ago, Putin and China already came together, and they're using their digital assets. They already have base and they don't have to use the dollar. They don't have to go through the IMF. They're dealing with other nations. This is so clear. It's over. The value of the hegemony of the dollar is over. De-dollarization is here, and this is just the beginning. And everybody sees it, like this man said, a tiger back into the wall, man. Let's listen to what he said again.
They still exist, but it's like no one ever thinks about them. Whatever that business is where you are, you're kind of getting into that territory, and it's easy to sit in the United States and say, hey, this seems like the center of the world to us. Go to Asia, go to Singapore, ask the bankers in Singapore, as I did, where would you rather the money come from? They say, we have plenty of Indonesian clients, we have plenty of Indian clients, we have plenty of people from here in Singapore, we have plenty of Thai and Vietnamese. We don't want American money. We don't need it. We're conservative. We're some of the strongest banks in the world. The U.S. is hardly the center of the world to us. And I think that's the way the world is.
These other countries don't need Babylon, the great America, because they don't make shit anyway. We get everything from China, India, all these different nations. All right? And this is... Boy, the Lord exposing you, E. It's over, man. We seeing the downfall of the hegemony of the dollar. No more dominance. Let's listen a little bit more.
That's the consequence.
Well, if you're seeing the move away from the dollar as a gradual development, not something happening suddenly, and not necessarily bringing in other assets into the conversation like gold and Bitcoin, we'll get to that later. But from your experience, which fiat currency is gaining popularity, if there is one, or if there's a group of existing fiat currencies that seem to be more appealing in this new era?
Well, listen, I know that any fiat currency is super appealing. I like to be diversified. I think there's opportunities in that. Look at the Mexican peso.
So that's it. I wanted to just touch on that right quick. Lord willing, I'll do some more lessons during the day. Let's see how the spirit goes. It's over, E. Shalom.